All right, lads, welcome back to me podcast Cheaper Than Therapy. Mick Thomas here. How are you? How you been, by the way? How have you been? Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing, coming on back. I do appreciate it. I kind of appreciate it, right? As I approach episode 300, episode 298, I figured, maybe this will be the one that gets me cancelled, gets it shut off all platforms. But let's see if we can do it this week, shall we? Come see me live on this Saturday. If you're on Long Island, out in the Hamptons, right? Out in the Hamptons, Southampton. I'm out in the Canoe Inn. Sounds like a weird place to perform, but it's massive. It's a massive venue out there. Tickets are nearly gone, I think. So come on out. It'll be great to see you out there. And all the way in June. Why advertise in June, Mick? Well, I'm taking a lot of time off from touring, but I am in clubs working out new material, as March nearly killed me. And June 6th and 7th, I'm up in Mohegan Sun in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. One of my favorite clubs, one of my favorite towns, one of my favorite venues, some of my favorite people. Come on out and see me. So yeah, I didn't want to. I mean, my episodes have been kind of stagnant of when I bring them out, and I figured, you know what, I'm kind of. Like I said, I don't care. March nearly killed me, and I'm taking a lot of time off. So this weekend, what did I do? I didn't have any shows. So I stayed home, and I was wondering, like, maybe I won't do a podcast this week because I am on the fence about quitting this mess of a thing. And I'm sure a lot of you, after listening to this episode, will go, please quit, please cancel the podcast. I was going to do up big desk, nice lighting, all that stuff, but maybe I'll just throw in the towel and we'll see what we're going on. But anyway, I sat on the couch all day Saturday. Sat on the couch, didn't move. Well, I did. I got up and I got Chinese food. And what did I watch? I binge watched Love on the Spectrum Season 3. Love on the Spectrum Season 3. People were talking about it. I said, you know what? Let me give it a watch. Now, is it one of those kind of shows like, well, I can't watch season 3. I haven't seen season 1 and 2. Will I be lost? Is it like if you missed the first 2 seasons of Game of Thrones? Will I be able to keep up? Probably not. Is it like, Asian Gangbangs 3? If I've missed the first 2, will I know the plot of the story? It ain't like any of those movies where you kind of really have to pay attention. This kind of picks up by itself. You don't have to kind of have seen the other 2 to figure out what's going on clearly. Now, before we go any further, let's have a conversation. Will I say some things that might upset you? I probably will. I probably will definitely say things because I'm not thinking. I don't think. Will I say some things that offend you? Probably will do that too. Will I use the R word? I'm going to try not to. How does that work? I'm going to try not to. So if you are easily offended, this ain't the episode for you. You might want to log off, shut down now. And I don't mean to. Now, in the past, have I worked with kids with special needs, autism, that kind of stuff? Yes, I have. Does that give me carte blanche to say what I want? Like when a comedian goes on stage, well, I was talking to my black friends the other day. Cool, now I can say the N-word. It ain't like that, right? It ain't like that. But that all it means is, like, whatever I say, as offensive as it might be to you, I have a special place in my heart for these creatures. Now, so let's move on to season 3 of Love on the Spectrum. First of all, I just want to say I loved it. I loved the show. Watching these people, right, just trying to find love like the rest of us. Trying to find love, not jobs. You never see them looking for jobs, which is great. I think that would be a better spin-off show. Jobs on the Spectrum, right? Because love is harder for these folks, right? I would say, but jobs on the spectrum, because you know what? Pretty soon it'll be like, oh, you got to give, these kids a job, right? I mean, listen, you'll never see an autistic flag on the moon, but God damn it, are they happy, right? You just never would. Certain jobs they won't do. And so that's the new show. I think the new spin-off, Jobs on the Spectrum, it should be called. But Love on the Spectrum is hard for these kids, these guys and gals to find love. It's hard for us to find love, isn't it? Like, real love. I think these people have cracked the code to true love and to true happiness. Let's get into it. So the show consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 special needs, 9 handicaps. Right, and in no particular order I have them. I don't know their names, but I wrote down things on the side of it so I'd remember them. The first one is Connor. What I wrote down for Connor was, I trying to remember who he was. He's the one with the hot mom. Family of Greeks. They're definitely Greeks. Well, Mick, how do you know they're Greek? You can tell by their eyebrows. You can tell by their eyebrows. They don't mention they're Greek in it. You might say maybe Albanian. Definitely Greek. Definitely the Greek eyebrows on him. And basically, Connor's a cool kid, right? He's into the again, another thing what I noticed about a lot of these people, a lot of them are into the same things I'm into. Like, one of them had the Loki scepter in the background, which blew my mind. You know, Connor had which I thought was the Horn of Gondor, if you're a Lord of the Rings fan. But it turned out it was just a basic Viking horn. My town, Wexford, found by Vikings. So we have a lot of things in common with a lot of these people. But anyway, so Connor had the hot mom. And I say hot mom, she's not really a hot mom, but she's one of these women that, and if you watch the show, if you're a fan of the show, you'll know she kind of wants to make the show about her, right? Because in the first episode of season 3, she's with a dad. Like, there's a dad there, and like, he's got a big underbite. Like, yeah, it looks like he'd be like, you know, digging up krill from the bottom of the ocean. But, you know, he's got an underbite that if he didn't wear a hat when it rains, he would drown. But it was, you know, you could I thought to myself, oh, that's where the chromosome problem came from. Definitely look at the dad. The dad is a walking one of them, right? The dad is definitely a Hmong. And so it turns out then the next episode, the dad's nowhere to be seen. And then the mother shows up in episode 2, maybe 3, I don't know, with her hair all did, right? Looking a little bit better than she did the first episode, crying about how she's single and how hard it is. So she kind of makes it about herself. And then the brother, who has the same pose, standing against the kitchen counter, it's just weird. It's just a weird looking family. But anyway, Connor's out there and he's doing his best to find love, right? And God bless him, you know, he goes to, you know, he goes into all the apps, right? And I don't know where the apps are, right? I don't know what the apps are for these people, right? You just swipe, right? I mean, swipe, but aren't they usually swiping their screens because of the drool? I told you, I'm gone. Right? There's a lot of drool on the screen, so they're constantly swiping anyway. Oh no, I got spit on me thing again, right? So I don't know what app they use. If anyone thinks of any good names, I have a list of them, but I know for a fact I'll get in serious trouble if I tell you the names that I'm thinking about. And they're drooling, right, on the phones, and they're trying to swipe. So I don't know what the apps are, but Connor, God bless him, he's on the app, and he's got his eyebrows, and he's very well groomed, and he's out there, and Connor is one of the best. I think one of the main. He gets more airtime than a lot of them on there, I'll be honest with you. But I think that whole episode, the whole season, I watched all of them, by the way. I did nothing on Saturday. I think Connor's mom kind of tried to make it about herself, really. I wouldn't be surprised if Connor wasn't really on the spectrum or autistic or whatever he had. If you said to me he didn't have that, asked him if she could get him a daddy, I would definitely believe that, right? So Connor, you know, it ends up with him with a girl who looks like a chess piece. I'm not mocking her. She has a neck and shoulders that are kind of a little bit weird, but she's wearing like a low cut top. Never wear a low cut top when you have a weird neck. Never bring attention to the neck. And she's a lovely girl, right? She has her hair in braids. He loves that, right? Like Game of Thrones again. And, you know, so they end up together. Kind of, it ends with them together. You know, spoiler alert, if you will. But God bless them. They end up happy. So I hope we don't have to look at the mom in season 4. I'll be honest with you. So that's Connor. Then the next one I have is Tanner. I wrote Tanner horse. Why did I write horse beside Tanner? Oh, his teeth. He's got, I don't know if he's got a twin sister, but and I'm not making fun of him. I'm not having a go, but they have big, you know, massive chompers. Definitely massive chompers, right? You know, and ironically, he wanted to go to a petting zoo. He took girls on a date on a petting zoo. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying there's a correlation between a petting zoo and Tanner's teeth, but Tanner is very nice. I like him, actually. He was a sweet lad. Lives by himself. He doesn't live by himself. He lives with 2 other ones. One is downsy as fuck, really gone, right? One's gone. Even the other 2 are like, that one is mental. Like, what is he what has he got? Whatever that is, at least I'm not that, right? And he lives with another one, and they do a lot of high-fiving, which is great, right? I'd love to live with two of my mates and high-five and agree with everything. There's no disagreements. They're the three best friends you could ask for. Jealousy is what comes over me when I watch this show at some of them, I'll be honest with you. So Tanner doesn't find love, spoiler alert. He goes on plenty of dates, a lot of smiling. You have to with the things. You got to let them out. You can't keep them behind your lips. Your lips will be sawn off. Right, you gotta let them breathe a little bit. Oh, for fuck's sake, who's calling me and ruining me fucking thing? Oh, you. Okay, still going. We didn't get lost. Good. So you gotta cover up those things, right? So Tanner doesn't find love, but he loves buying gifts. Good lad, and he's got a twin sister. Ironically, identical twin sister that looks just like him, but she doesn't have whatever chromosome problem he had. He seems to be. She seems to have escaped it, right? He was the one that was, I don't know, maybe umbilical cord problem. I don't know. I don't claim to know. And then the other guy, James, I wrote shirt button. Oh yeah, he had his button all the way up, like a Latino gang member. Did you ever see those guys? They just have their top button and it's always bowed up, and he's always on the top button. Why you go? I'm on the spectrum. You know what I'm saying, Like he's just one of those cholos. But he's not. He's got... Sometimes I think he has long red hair, right? But he doesn't. Apparently it's blonde, but I thought it was red hair. And I thought, oh no, the poor guy. He's already on the spectrum and he has red hair. What chance does he have of finding love, right? And James is kind of very high-strung. A bit annoying, if I'm being honest with you. If I have to be around James for a long period of time. The other two so far, Connor and Tanner, laughing all the time. Watching the same TV shows, eating Funyuns. So far, I'm a big fan of Connor and Tanner, but James just giving it all that, won't shut up, very high-strung. She's afraid of dogs and children. Listen, come on, James. You're not meeting a girl that is capable of having kids and wants to have you as a stepdad. Not mocking your condition by any means. By any means am I mocking your condition, but I am mocking your dress sense and the fact you have a phobia of little dogs. So James... I don't think ends up on anybody. I stopped paying attention to him because he got really annoying. It's just too much energy. You're just fucking exhausted. Like, I don't know if any of you have kids. When you used to be little and they come home and try to tell you about their day and they just won't shut the fuck up for a minute. Just a long-winded story that goes nowhere. That's what it's like listening to James. The next one on there, I think, was Adon. Adon, I liked him because he was Catholic, right? Now, he lived in a bit of money, right? Bit of cabbage he had, and he lived in California, and he was married to Danny, and I wrote Catholic for Adam, Danny slutty, right? Danny was very slutty, right? And they were a lovely couple. Oh, they were, just, you dream of it, right? The love that they had, opening doors, helping her walk upstairs, wiping her chin, right? Just love, pure, just like really, really, and he had great posture that made me feel like the third guy on the Evolution poster. Really, really amazing posture. And she was just, and spoiler alert, they broke up. They broke up on it because they were loving each other, right? And they would kiss a lot. Listen, that's gross, isn't it, when you watch them kiss? Do you ever watch two old people kiss? Now, not like just a peck on the cheek. Oh, this is Ethel. We met during the war, and I've never, ever thought of another woman since me and Ethel have been together. And then they lean in, they give him a kiss. I was once with a Negro, right? And whatever. And then they kiss, and it's that ugly kind of... You know when you go to the zoo and they teach orangutans to kiss? Now, I'm not calling these people orangutans. I'm just saying the way the lips go is just... Nah. But anyway, they so there's a lot of kissing on there. And then Danny, the one I wrote slutty, go mad for a bit of sex. Loving, can't get him, wants loads of sex. So she calls up Adon on the phone and was like, hey, listen, mate, we've been together for a year or so now, right? Anniversary dinner, we're looking great. Can we, any chance at all, we could, get on with it, do the deed? And he was like, no, not till we're married. And I respect that. A good Christian man, good values, house is full of crucifix. Too many crucifix, I would say. Almost borderline of the Nun or the Conjuring movies. Like that many crosses in the house. But having said that, I do think, I was sad when they broke up. I was sad because, Danny couldn't keep it in her pants, right? Maybe they had an agreement or something. Maybe he was like, listen, I will stay home, we'll watch Netflix and chill, and we'll have pizza, and we'll do, we'll do whatever we want. We'll watch wrestling, obviously. Trolls, right? Whatever they like to watch. And then, if you, on a Wednesday night, if you want to go out and get a bit of, how's your father, then that's okay. That's okay. But they didn't make it, and I was sad. I was really sad because they had it all. They had it all, only she just couldn't keep it in her pants. Then we had David and Abby. Now, what did I write for David and Abby? I wrote, David is out of his league, and Abby was kind of hot. Now, not as in I was attracted to her. I don't mean that as in Abby, oh my God, if she only wasn't. Just for what you think you're going to get, she's somewhat attractive, right? For that field, for that type of chromosome. You're like, that, all right, you did well, nature. You did well. You almost got it right. You almost got it right, but you blew it with the mental thing. And he's definitely punching above his weight, and he was a fatty too. He's a big one. And she was somewhat attractive, and he wasn't. But again, it's not about love. Love is in the eye, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And they were a lovely couple, and they're still together, and they're a lovely couple. Quoted Sesame Street a lot. I'll be honest with you, a bit too much. And I'm a big fan of Sesame Street, right? They did a lot of Oscar the Grouch impressions, Cookie Monster, The Count. They did The Count. And then, no Snuffleupagus. I would have thought they would have done Snuffleupagus based on the size of the big one with the eyelashes. But they were still together, right? They came in from season 1 or season 2, I believe. I didn't see it. They just narrated it, and they're going on. Maybe we'll see him again in season 4. We don't know. But I was kind of very impressed with them. They were going to wine taste and getting hammered, having a jolly good time. But I think their love was based on Sesame Street. On to the next one, Parry. I wrote gay beside her, not as in an insulting way. Gay. She was gay. She was a gay, and I just figured she's a perfect DEI hire, right? That is right. If you're working in HR, no matter where you work, and you just call upstairs, go ahead. What have you got? I've got a much better one. No, you don't. Like, I believe HR departments have contests. I do. I believe HR in DEI have contests. What have you got? Well, check this out. I got a black person who is a trans and in a wheelchair. Fuck, that's a good get. That, according to the board, that's worth at least 11 points. Nobody's got higher than 11 points. Strap in, I got one for you. I got a person who's autistic, right? Can name every single train. That's how crazy autistic she is. She loves trains in Boston, and she can name every kind of train, model, make, year that they would run the line, what line they run on, how fast they go. Oh, that's a great one. That's an easy 9. What? A 9? How about I add that she's a gay? Ding, 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 ding. Straight to the top. That's a 21. That is you don't get higher than that on a DEI hire than a spectrum gay train loving. Mother's dying of breast cancer. Her dad died a few years ago. If she could sing, she would be on American. Remember American Idol? They would come in, they couldn't sing for shit, not for love nor money, but they would go in with this hard story. This one, she's got autism, gay, right? Loves trains. Mother's dying of breast cancer. You should see her. Like, you could lift her up with 2 fingers off a bed, right? And the dad died and the dad was Asian. For fuck's sake. She is a DEI hire's dream. But anyway, she finds this other girl that, for some reason, she's carrying around a cane, but she ain't blind. I'm not judging. I don't know what her disability. Maybe that happens every once in a while. Maybe she gets selective blindness. Maybe the sun hits her on the way. I don't know what her condition is because I think she's Korean. Now, that sounds bad, but it's hard to tell with the chubby Koreans, innit? Like, you don't know what that is. You don't know what that is. If it's, and I know Korean people, I can say that. But she's a chubby Korean, so you don't know if it is a form of Down syndrome or just a really chubby Korean. That's all I'm saying. But I really liked Perry. I really did. I liked Perry a lot because, I don't know, my brother is kind of, I guess, autistic when it comes to trains, and he's 52 and he loves trains, him. So he's definitely definitely autistic too. So that's kind of why I think I liked Parry. But moving on to the last one, my favourite person on there was Madison. I love Madison. I wrote favourite on there. Why did I like Madison? I don't know, man. She was very sweet. She was very, very sweet. And she went on a few dates and she broke up with these people, you know, respectfully. And like, hey, man, you're not a good match, but I'd like to be friends. And she took a guy with him who just put his headphones on the whole time because, you know, and you know, you just felt like he wanted to jump over the railing into the river every time he asked her a question. But I liked her, but she ends up meeting this guy, and he's like a 7 foot tall, by the looks of him, cowboy who just wants to fuck her. He just can't keep his mouth off her, just in front of her dad, just licking her, right? Just licking her face, and the dad's like, just holds him down. Like, I don't know how to get this giant mongoloid off my dad. Can you say mongoloid? You can, right? It's a it's a Mongolian. It is a disease or a condition to be a mongoloid. Look it up. Put it in the comments. Will I get cancelled? Probably. You know, and they're going at it, and the dad is even like, you know, what are you doing? Stop licking my daughter. And so she's still together with the big guy with the hat, and you know he just got a southern accent and everything about him, and he could name any country song. And he had to use his powers for, his powers were like, you know, when you look at the X-Men, you're like, what's that guy's powers? Oh, he can fly, this guy can run through walls, this person can read minds, this person's got claws for hands, right? And you would say their powers, this guy, if Tism had powers, this guy's power would be, he could, like, if you named a country song, he could tell you what chord it was recorded in. Useless if he was an Avenger, right? If he was an Avenger, he'd be useless. You wouldn't really have him, you know what I mean? Unless Thanos was playing guitar. He was like, that's a G sharp or whatever. You know, and so Madison was truly my favorite one. She was sweet. She loved Disney, and I like Disney, right? And she really, really was my favorite. And I think she ends up with the big Texan. I know he's not from Texas, but I call him that because of the hat. And you know, but that's the cast of Love on the Spectrum. Now we had a lot of laughs today. Well, at least you did anyway. I've been on the edge of my seat all these episodes. But here's the thing, what I do find about the show. I do find it is somewhat, they're exploiting, not the main cast. The main cast, I'm assuming, get paid for it, and now they go on television and meet John Cena. I saw one guy, Tanner, meet Jack Black, and I can't stand Jack Black. I just can't. He's just fucking loud. You know what I mean? It's like he's got nothing funny to say, so he just screams everything. I don't like Jack Black. So he went on something like an Ellen show or whatever. I don't know what it was. And Tanner's the horse guy. And he got to meet Jack Black. So, I mean, good for them, right? But I feel when they're on the dates, they have to call casting. Because they call them a cast. When you look at the end of it in the credits roll, they go cast. Then they must look for, like, where do you find these other autistic kids and just fucking shove them along. I put them on a date. So you're kind of exploiting these people. I really feel like it's a Piccadilly Circus. And I'm not trying to be funny here. I wasn't trying to be funny through the whole episode. I just trying not to be mean. But I really think they're exploiting these poor people. And again, like I said, all joking aside, I do have a soft place in my heart for these people. But here's what I will say. As bad as it is that I felt that these people were being exploited, not the main cast of the show, but the ones they find to go on dates with them. What I really find is that, here's the thing, man, you'll never be in a relationship as happy and as honest as these people. Seriously, when they're in a relationship, they're never going to be on the phone, and then as soon as your partner walks, you're going to put the phone down real quick because you were looking at something or someone you shouldn't have been looking at, right? They're never going to be dishonest. Oh, does my arse look fat in this jeans? Sure does. They'll tell you straight out. Hey, we're going to go to this party with my friend. I don't want to go. And they just won't go, right? And there's something to that, man, that we could learn a lot from these people. We truly could learn a lot from these people. They're beautiful souls, beautiful people, hilarious. And I think they have relationships down. I really do. I really believe that they know what they want in a relationship and they go get it. And I think we could all learn something from that. Like, just watch the show yourself and see what I'm talking about. Watch it. Season 3. It's on Netflix now. Just watch it and you go, yeah, I know what Mick was saying. I would love somebody in my life just like that. Just honest, just like that. I would love somebody in my life like that. Not with the chromosome problem, right? Because that would be exhausting after a while, right? There's only so many times you can, I don't know, go to a restaurant, a fancy restaurant. You want some steak and they want mozzarella sticks, right? That would drive you mad. Do you know what I mean? That would drive you mad. That's all I'm saying. If you knocked over a bag of jelly beans and they were able to tell you how many were spilled, that gets arrogant, because then you got to feel like, all right, I'll just pick up the jelly beans. You mean all 642 of them? Fucking hell. Anyway, that's the episode for today. Will I make episode 300? Probably not. Tune in next week and we'll see. Listen, thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing and coming on back. I do appreciate it. As always, wash your hands, you dirty fuckers. Good luck to you. Good luck to you.